It is officially the new year, and you might be feeling really excited and hopeful about all the things that will come from 2023. And because it is the beginning of the year, you and I both know what that means. You are being inundated with messaging from diet companies, from wellness companies, from just diet culture in general, offering you solutions to anything that you're feeling, any kind of dissatisfaction you're feeling about your body, any kind of dissatisfaction you're feeling about the way that you're eating. And it is really difficult to navigate the onslaught of all the things that happen in the new year. So if you're in a place where you're wanting to heal your relationship with food and you don't want to diet anymore, or parts of you know, this probably isn't the best solution for me, but you also want to become a healthier person. Granted, healthy is a subjective term, so you can interpret it as you choose. And nonetheless, if you're wanting to become healthier in the new year, I want to offer you 5 ways that you can become healthier without dieting in the new year. And before we dive into that, my name is Catherine Metzler. I'm a registered dietitian, certified intuitive eating counselor, and eating disorder specialist. And I help people to create peace with food and their body so that all of it takes up less headspace and they can live their lives with more freedom, abundance, joy, and presence. You definitely want to take a listen to this. It might surprise you to hear this coming from a dietitian, and if you're new here, you'll be especially surprised. If you're not, you won't be surprised at all. One of the healthiest things that you can do for your body anytime, and especially in the new year, is not to diet. And why do I say that? It's for a couple reasons. One is because we know that dieting leads to something called weight cycling. This is what people used to call yo-yo dieting in the past. It's the process of you losing weight by going on a diet and then going off the diet because diets are unsustainable, and then you gain all the weight back plus more, and then you go on another diet and then you lose the weight and then you gain the weight back plus more, and then you go up and down and up and down, and sometimes people can continue this throughout the course of their life. And what we have learned and are continuing to learn through research is that weight cycling is very bad for your health and well-being. All the things that we historically blamed on body fat, like blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, etc., we're learning that weight cycling is impacting people independent of their BMI. It means when we take BMI out, we can see that weight cycling is really, really harmful. It impacts your cholesterol, it impacts your risk of diabetes, it even impacts your risk of mortality. In addition to the harmful impacts of weight cycling, we also have to think about how dieting decreases your variety of food over time. What happens is food becomes less and less safe, you have less and less options over time, and then you only end up eating a small amount of food. That's the only stuff that feels safe for you, and I bet you can relate to this. What not dieting does, it expands the variety of foods that we're eating, and we know this is most supportive for human bodies. Lastly, dieting is not a healthy decision because not eating enough, which is normally part of a diet, right? It's encouraging you to decrease your calories or cut out foods or food groups. Not eating enough is just not good for your body. And I know that sounds really simple, but you know, there's so many very low caloric diets out there, or diets that pretend like they're not diets. I'm looking at you, Weight Watchers. They pretend like they're not diets and they just say, oh, well, you just need to include more fruits and vegetables. But the reality is they are encouraging you to eat less food, eat less calories, and your body doesn't like that. And it responds in all kinds of ways. And I've talked about this in other videos that you should check out. The first way to get healthier in the new year is to make sure that you are eating consistently. I cannot stress this enough. It is not a rule, it is a guideline. So it may vary from day to day, but generally humans need food, your body needs food every 2 to 4 hours. That's the amount of time approximately that it takes when you eat food for your body to digest it, send it to where it needs to go, for your body to take it in, and then it's gonna need fueling again. We are like cars, unfortunately, and I know that can be really frustrating. And so when we don't eat consistently, this leads to things like binge eating, feeling out of control with food, getting completely out of touch with our hunger and fullness signals, and so much more. The second way is making sure that you are consistently eating protein, fat, and carbohydrates at meal times, and ideally at snack time. Now look, I know that every meal and snack is not going to be perfect. I don't even believe in perfect. You might not always have access to these big macronutrient groups, and they're called macronutrients for a reason. Your body needs them. It needs the most of these groups. You've got all those beautiful micronutrients that come from fruit and vegetables, and you've heard that a million times. How many people on YouTube or in other spaces are talking about how to get healthy by eating more fruits and vegetables? You know that, we don't need to talk about that. What we do need to talk about though is making sure that you are getting enough macronutrient groups. And no, we're not gonna go on a macro diet, we're not gonna be counting them. This is just about consistently making sure that you're getting enough of all of those food groups to make sure that your body can function best. This is what our bodies want, and this is what your body needs. Which leads me to reason number 3. Do not, let me say this again, loud and clear, do not go on a low carbohydrate or no carbohydrate diet in the new year. Your body needs carbohydrates, and it needs a lot of them. It needs them at every single meal and snack throughout the day. You have been lied to in this dieting culture because we've been stuck in a low carb phase for so long. It used to be anti-fat, now it's anti-carb. And so many people, and this may be the case for you, are walking around feeling like they should cut out carbs, that they're eating too many carbs. And this just leads to really intense carbohydrate cravings. It leads to low energy, it leads to constipation, it leads to difficulty absorbing all those beautiful micronutrients that you might be eating, and so much more. All the things that we blame on carbohydrates, like low energy or foggy brain, often come from reducing them. So do not cut out carbohydrates if you want to be healthier in the new year. Number 4, don't use a fitness app, fitness watch, fitness program, wellness program, whatever they call themselves, to count your calories, to count your steps, to tell you what you should and shouldn't be eating. There are endless amounts of options, and I swear there's more and more every day around recommending what you should be eating by plugging in your weight, by plugging in how much you hope to lose, by plugging in all of your fitness goals. And the reality is, one, they're often really harmful because they recommend a way too low caloric amount for adults, and they broadly assume that everybody is needing the same amount. The reality is your body needs a different amount of food every single day, and it's very difficult to calculate that amount. But nonetheless, even the amounts that I've seen that they are calculating is not enough to support a grown human body. Don't let apps or programs tell you what you should and shouldn't be eating, and don't let them convince you that they are not a diet. This is what's happening with a lot of modern diet companies. They are picking up on the cultural shift, and they're just gonna tell you that they're a wellness program and you just need to plug in your goals and then you should just follow them. But if you want to be healthier, this would not be my recommendation. And the 5th way is do not go on a reduced calorie diet. They don't work. They're not sustainable. We know that we can't trick the body over time. And let me remind you that oftentimes diets or wellness programs, the average amount of time that they are quote unquote successful tends to be about 6 months, upwards of a year. Think about the times in the past where you've gone on diets. How long has it lasted? How long has it stayed around? The reality is diets don't work, and especially reduced calorie diets. We do not, and you do not need to be counting your calories. You do not need to be reducing your calories. In fact, I would bet that you likely are not eating enough, and you may need to eat more. And that is regardless of whether or not you are binging. In fact, going on a low calorie diet often can lead to us eating larger amounts of foods in one quantity, in one setting, because we're not getting enough food. Your body needs food, enough food to support all of its needs. And look, we've been lied to about the amount of food that we need. Our bodies actually need a lot to function just at rest. Then you add to that any kind of movement or exercise or brain activity that's happening or lack of sleep or stress or so many things. We need to be adding more energy that we get from food on board. So eating a reduced calorie diet is not going to help you. It's not sustainable. It's gonna leave you feeling hungry. It's gonna impact your body in really negative ways because your body's gonna have to figure out how to function without getting enough energy on board. And so eating in this way is not healthy. In summary, 2023 is an opportunity for you to give up dieting, for you to no longer follow programs and be stuck in this cycle of feeling like you're doing something wrong, feeling like you're out of control with food, and feeling like there's honestly something fundamentally wrong with you. How could you not, considering the diet culture that we exist in? I will say this until the end of time. If you have a difficult relationship with food and/or your body, there is nothing wrong with you. And I want to encourage you and remind you that there are other ways of being a healthy person, again, in the way that you define it, and we all defined it for our individual selves. There is a way to be a healthier person this year and beyond without dieting. In fact, I think dieting directly conflicts with you becoming a healthier person. So I really want you to take this with you and encourage you to not follow those diets and to implement some of the things that I offered around how to become healthier in the new year. And if you want more information, I've done videos on each one of those points. And so let me know. Be sure to also check out the free resource that I have for you below, How to Create Peace with Food When You Are Afraid of Gaining Weight. This is a very common experience. And if you are teetering on the fence, wondering, do I pursue not dieting anymore? Do I pursue intuitive eating, or what will happen to my body? You will definitely get a lot of value out of that resource. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am excited to offer you all things related to healing your relationship with food and your body in 2023. If you liked it, I always appreciate a like. If you'd like to grab that free resource on how to create peace with food when you're afraid of gaining weight, check that out below, and I will see you back here soon.